We've got a story to tell. But as a human being watching this, you think, oh my God, what has just happened to our world? So in that moment, I'm a little bit frozen because I'm seeing this massive event unfolding in front of me and all of our TV screens are now on that. But I'm also thinking, oh my word, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? They're looking to me. They're all looking at me now because I'm not just the news anchor of 11 days ago. I'm not just the field reporter of 11 days ago. I'm the news editor. I'm running this newsroom. So I just took a beat, like deep breath, and went, okay, let's see what we're going to do. Let's roll out this rolling coverage, as we call it in our newsroom. And so we went live on air with that. We broke that story. And as we think, okay, we've got a bit of a handle on it, they say, look, they're replaying it. They're replaying that footage. Let's watch again. But they weren't replaying it. It was the second plane going into the World Trade Center. So suddenly it now becomes a much, much bigger story. And suddenly you're thinking what could have potentially been pilot error perhaps in the beginning, what could have been navigation systems, air traffic control failure, some kind of a cyber issue, suddenly becomes something else. And I'll never forget that Reuters monitor on the desk. It turned blood red and it looked as if it was bleeding. There was one breaking news flash after the next. And within moments, it was Al-Qaeda has claimed responsibility. It was such a major learning curve for me. It was huge. The biggest learning I got out of that is make a call. You have to make a call, even if it's the wrong one in the moment, because we're human at the end of the day. So not every decision and call we make is going to be the right one, but make a call because people need leadership. So you're thinking, I'm a journalist, I'm an editor, but actually as a human, I can't believe what I'm watching unfold in front of me. And you have to remember, we saw very tragic scenes unfolding in front of us. So nobody knew what to expect. And so the cameras were rolling. Nobody knew that people were going to jump out of windows and the cameras were rolling. And we saw that live on TV. We saw people jumping to their deaths to avoid the flames and the explosion live. And that's something we've never experienced before. As a world, I think. That tragedy unfolded live in front of us. And so while you try very hard to separate your personal shock with your professional responsibility, there is a moment where it just does all become quite enmeshed. And so you can't collapse in a pile and weep. You simply can't. You cannot lock your humanity away. You just can't. You'll just become a very callous journalist. I don't think the world needs that level of callous. So a year later, on the first anniversary of 9/11, I went to Ground Zero to cover the story for EWN. Sure. That was an experience I'll never forget. So I've covered difficult stories before, but that was absolute carnage for me. And there was such a sense of grief in every single person I spoke to. I found grief everywhere, whether it was your taxi driver, the concierge at the hotel, the people there was just an overwhelming, deep sense of grief about what had happened a year ago. It was a lot to take in, but I was very grateful for that moment to be able to tell the story from Ground Zero. There was a fundamental shift in our world, whether or not you were there, whether or not you knew anybody who was there. So even on the tip of Africa, we felt the axis of the earth shift ever so slightly, but we felt it.